Hi, my name is Melissa Cervantes. I am a faculty instructor for nursing students in 3 different schools here in El Paso. I have been doing this since about 2015, and prior and during to that, I have worked in the hospital setting for about 19 years, and most of that has been night shift from 7P to 7A. I know a lot of people make faces. They think it's really hard to work at the night shift, but it's a really different experience, and I really enjoyed it. I have worked in the neonatal intensive care unit, or NICU, pediatrics, GYN, which is gynecology, and the postpartum or mother-baby floors in several hospitals, and that was for the first 15 years of my career. The last 4, I became an AOD, or administrator on duty, in one of the hospitals, running the hospital at night. I am also a mother of 5, ranging in ages from 4 to 22, and I include this information because this is a little bit pertinent to one of the stories that I'll be telling later on in the presentation. Nursing is a career that integrates leadership with practice, whether informal or formal. Nurses must be visionaries, critical thinkers, skilled communicators, and teachers, all through the course of their standard 12-hour shifts. The presentation I'm about to give is a compilation of different tools I have used in developing my communication skills with patients. I pass this information along to students to help plant seeds of knowledge in communication and behavior to help them deal with situations they might find themselves in that will be difficult to face. Different situations require different ways of communicating. Integrating proper body language with narrative intelligence are imperative in delivering the right message you need to send. I will utilize some of these tools as I address you, the audience, and how I show students to address their patients in various settings and situations. Utilizing narrative intelligence is integral in our positions as leaders to decipher what environment the situation brings to us, and being able to tell the narratives in a way that is appropriate to the situations to produce the best learner outcomes. The stories we use elicit different responses from our audiences that demonstrate efficiency of the words we speak to cultivate those seeds, to grow into extensions of our stories that integrate into others' stories. I am now going to share with you one of the stories that I had from several years back. I was getting a report from the day shift nurse, and the report was that my patient, the female, the mom, she had delivered a baby at about 6:30, 7 o'clock that morning. This mom had delivered a 38-week term baby, a little girl, and unfortunately the baby had passed away. The story with this mom is that she had come in, she had come in on a Monday, stating that she had felt decreased fetal movement. She was checked in L&D, labor and delivery. They assessed her, they put her on the monitor, baby was fine, she was sent home. Second day, Tuesday, she came in, and the same thing, she complained of decreased fetal movement. So, she got checked in, she was put on the monitor, baby was fine, same thing, baby was sent home. On the third day is when the story changed. She had come in for the same situation. She had complained of decreased fetal movement, and yet when they put the baby on the monitor, the baby had already passed. It was what we call intrauterine fetal demise. The baby died inside of mom. The mom stayed to deliver this baby, and like I said, the baby delivered about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning that following morning. When I came in the night shift, the baby was still in the mom's room, and the report that I got was, of course, the mom was very upset, and dad was very upset. He had been yelling, just really angry, because they had come in before to find out about their baby because they were concerned, and only to be sent home, and now here they are, the baby passed away. One of the issues that we had is, number one, how upset the family was, the mom and the dad. And secondly, the issue of the baby still being in the room after so much time. And when a person dies, or when this baby dies, after some time, the baby's internal organs, or blood and stuff, they begin to macerate. And the report that I got was the baby was already discoloring from her face, turning purple from the head and such. So obviously a priority was trying to get the baby to be released from the parents, to be taken down to the morgue. And apparently the family, the mom and the dad, were refusing to let the baby go. So finished getting report, and I went into that room not knowing what to expect. I walked into the room, the lights were off. I turned to the left, which is where the bed was, and there was the mom holding this beautiful little girl in her arms, dressed in a pretty little white dress, and the baby looked to be sleeping. However, I did notice, as what I got from report, that the top of the baby's head was starting to turn blue, because the blood was starting to go bad in there. When I went into the room, that was the first thing I saw. The second thing that I saw was the dad. He was across right there by the window, and he started. He was just upset, really. And I came in and I said, "Hey, hello, my name is Melissa. I'm gonna be your nurse tonight." And he just kind of went off. He started kind of yelling at me in a way, but just expressing his anger and how upset he was at the situation. He was saying in Spanish that he was how upset they were, and he said that who is going to be accountable for the baby's death, because they came in to the hospital 2 previous days, and then the 3rd day, and the baby had passed away. And as I was talking, I let him talk to me, I let him get out all his anger, I let him yell at me as much as he could, and I looked at him, calmly as best I could. And the first thing that I did was I approached him a little bit. There was a chair to the side. I brought it a little closer, and I sat down, and I listened to him. One of the things that I know I did was I made sure never to cross my arms, because if I cross my arms, we know that's a sign of putting up a wall, that we're not going to be able to talk to them, and there's going to be a communication barrier there. So as I sat down, then he went and he sat down. So I said, okay, yes, that worked. He continued kind of not yelling so loudly, but still kind of showing me how upset he was about the baby passing away. And then I turned to the mom, and she started to cry. As I continued listening to the dad, which is something that I had to do. You have to listen to these people when things like this happen. My CNA came in, and she saw that he was kind of yelling at me, so I looked at her a little bit, and I saw the face she made, like, oh my gosh, and she turned around real quick and left the room. I said, okay. I continued talking to him, and something that I noticed on him as he was talking to me was he had a cross tattoo on his arm. That okay. I looked at mom, I looked at baby, and mom had a cross necklace on her chest. Okay, so I figured, okay, this is how I'm gonna connect with these people. This is how I'm gonna find a way to help them. And I started talking to them about spirituality, about God, about how things happen and only God knows why. And we had a pretty good discussion, because then the dad settled down. He calmed down, and he was talking to me, and he was able to stop, and then he started crying. And when he started crying, that's when the door opened up really quickly behind me, and my charge nurse walked in, and she just had this look like, oh my gosh, that she thought something was going to be happening. And I said, Marcy, I didn't even look, but I know it was her. Marcy, I got this. Are you sure? Are you sure? I got this. I just put my hand back. Okay. And she walked out. So I saw him crying. He cried with the wife. He got close. They talked to their baby. It was a really, really touching experience. It was very sad, seeing that, these people were hurting, and, just the frustration of the fact that they tried to come in and they tried to get help before the baby had even passed away. So the night went on. I kept in there talking to them, consoling them, just continuing to leave, I guess, the nurse part, or like the more evident part of me being a nurse at the door, and I came in and I talked to them as somebody to help them, somebody to guide them, somebody that he can express his grief or even anger or frustrations at. And I was fine with that. And actually, by one of my last rounds, it was kind of like 5 a.m. I had to tell them, they still had the baby in the room. And I asked him, what, your baby is starting to turn blue, from the head and stuff. So I need to know, what are we going to do with your baby? Because your baby can't stay with you. It can't continue to stay with you, because it's just going to start to get worse. And I don't want you to have that mental picture of your baby when you finally let go. And he looked at me, and he looked at the baby, and he looked at his wife, and he said, okay, I will let you know when we're ready to let go, but I want you to take my baby. And he said, okay. So the rest of my shift passed. It was already 7 o'clock, and I actually stayed there until about 9 a.m. when he finally was able to call, and he asked me, or he told me, okay, we're ready to let go. And so, yeah, I got the baby, wrapped her up nice and pretty. They took the pictures, they kissed the baby goodbye, and I was able then to take the baby down to the morgue. And that was one of my prouder moments as a nurse, because I was able to take that horrible, saddening situation and turning it into somewhere, I guess, in a way positive, where these people were able to let go and give the baby's body to me, and to develop that trust in me that I helped them, and that I was sincere, and I was doing the best that I could for them in the situation that they were in. Okay, so with that, I would like to end my presentation by emphasizing the importance of narrative intelligence in practice as we continue our journeys as leaders in our lives. The way we analyze and come to understanding the context of what we are faced with are key to how we are going to be able to successfully project our messages and cultivate those seeds of knowledge we give from our stories to produce the best learning outcomes. I pray that whatever little bit of insight I have gifted to you will help in some minute way of facing things with a different kind of appreciation to the importance of the stories we tell and the stories that we are told. Thank you.